Unexpected shifts after 60. Embracing the next stage. Do you find yourself anticipating fine lines or silver strands? What if you learned that past the age of 60, your physical form and mental landscape begin to transform in surprising ways? Aspects you were never forewarned about. The process of aging involves more than just visible alterations. It unfolds in manners you might not have predicted. Perhaps you've observed time accelerating like never before. Or maybe your nocturnal patterns have become inconsistent. Some of these indications will catch you off guard, potentially causing apprehension. However, each is a natural component of life's progression. This discussion will unveil 7 surprising signs of advancing age that most individuals only recognize once they encounter them personally. Which of these developments have you already noticed in yourself? Let's explore this together. Which aspect do you find most astonishing? Have you detected any of these transitions within your own experience? Feel free to share in the comments. The illusion of speeding time. Have you ever had the sensation that the years are dissolving more rapidly than they did in the past? One moment you're toasting the new year, and seemingly instantaneously, the warmth of summer has faded, and the festive season has returned. If chronological perception feels like it's gaining pace after 6 decades, you are not merely imagining it. This is a recognized cognitive phenomenon that affects nearly everyone. What accounts for this acceleration? When you were a youngster, a single summer seemed boundless. Each day was replete with fresh encounters. Your initial bicycle ride, a significant family excursion, or even mastering a simple task like fastening your footwear. Your mind processed these occurrences as distinct episodes, imbuing the perception of time with fullness and extension. Yet as we mature, routine dominates. Our days become predictable, filled with habitual actions we perform almost unconsciously. Arise, consume morning beverage, complete household tasks, engage with a book, retire for the night. Without novel memories to demarcate temporal units, our brains compress our experiences, causing weeks, months, and even years to merge. Furthermore, researchers have established a direct correlation between our subjective experience of time and the duration of life already lived. At 10 years of age, a single year represents 10% of your existence. At 60, 1 year constitutes merely 1.6%, a considerably smaller fraction. Consequently, from a personal standpoint, each year feels abbreviated compared to its predecessor. Is there a method to decelerate time? Fortunately, you can indeed influence your brain to perceive time as moving slower by incorporating novelty and mindful awareness into your daily rhythm. Venture into something unfamiliar. The most effective strategy to expand temporal perception is to disrupt the pattern of routine. Enroll in a course, delve into a new pursuit, or simply alter your route during your regular stroll. Unfamiliar encounters make time feel protracted because your brain dedicates more attention to new stimuli. Cultivate presence. Have you observed that mindfulness, truly focusing on the current instant, can enrich the experience of time? Rather than allowing days to flow indistinguishably, savor them. Absorb the particulars of a twilight sky, relish the flavor of a meal, or dedicate a few minutes each day to noting noteworthy events in a journal. Document your days. Reviewing past photographs or written records can create the impression that time was more substantial and significant. If you haven't already, begin capturing images of your everyday existence. Even minor details, such as your morning coffee or a blossoming bloom. Recording brief notes about your day can also assist your brain in better retaining recollections, mitigating the sensation of time rushing by. Chronological passage may quicken, but you possess the capacity to influence its perception. By stepping outside the confines of routine, exploring novelties, and fully engaging with life, you will feel as though you are maximizing every moment. Have you noticed time accelerating in your own life? What practice do you employ to remain anchored in the present? Let's discuss it in the comments section. Unpredictable slumber cycles. Do you recall a time when you could achieve a full 8 hours of sleep without a single disturbance? Now you might find yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., gazing at the ceiling, or rising at daybreak even when not necessitated by obligation. Some evenings you feel utterly drained, yet achieving sleep seems unattainable. At other times, you drift off easily but awaken prematurely, unable to return to slumber. For many individuals exceeding 6 decades, sleep becomes less profound, shorter in duration, and significantly more erratic. You might also find yourself needing more daytime naps, further complicating the attainment of a complete night's rest. Sleep quality diminishes with age, but what is the underlying reason? As you advance in years, your body's intrinsic timekeeping mechanism, known as the diurnal rhythm, naturally undergoes alteration. This results in decreased production of a crucial chemical compound. This compound is the signaling agent that informs your biological system that it is time to rest. With increasing age, your system synthesizes less of it, impeding the process of falling asleep and remaining asleep. Sleep becomes more fragmented. Instead of lengthy, deep sleep phases, you may experience shorter, less profound stages of slumber. This heightened sensitivity to auditory stimuli, temperature fluctuations, or even your own introspections can lead to awakenings. Earlier awakenings become common. Your brain signals you to become alert earlier than in previous years, even if you retired late. This explains why you might find yourself conscious at 5 a.m., unable to remain asleep. More frequent nocturnal visits to the restroom are also a factor. Alterations in bladder regulation can contribute to sleep interruptions. Waking multiple times during the night to void the bladder can make it challenging to re-enter a state of sleep. Increased daytime somnolence is another consequence. Because your nighttime rest is lighter and less restorative, you may experience fatigue throughout the day. This can necessitate more naps, which subsequently disrupt nocturnal sleep patterns further. Inadequate restful sleep can leave you feeling depleted, irritable, and mentally clouded. However, the encouraging news is that there are methods to enhance your sleep and feel more invigorated. Strategies for improving sleep after 61. Limit your intake of caffeinated beverages, alcoholic drinks, and screen time before retiring. Caffeine lingers in your system for several hours, so if you struggle with sleep, avoid it after midday. While alcohol may initially induce drowsiness, it actually disrupts deep sleep, leading to more frequent awakenings. Furthermore, the blue light emitted from personal electronic devices, tablet computers, and television screens interferes with the production of the sleep-inducing chemical. Consider reading a physical book or listening to calming auditory content instead. 2. Establish a calming pre-sleep routine. Your body requires a clear indication that it is time to prepare for rest. Develop a nocturnal ritual to facilitate the transition to sleep.
Consume a warm, non caffeinated herbal infusion.
Take a tepid shower or bath. Practice deep breathing exercises or gentle physical extensions. Listen to tranquil music or a guided relaxation session. 3. Keep daytime naps brief and early in the day. While napping is beneficial for rejuvenation, excessive daytime sleep can prevent your body from being sufficiently fatigued at night. Aim for a duration of 20 to 30 minutes and avoid napping after 3 p.m. 4. Maintain a consistent sleep schedule. Retire and awaken at the same hour daily, including on days without work commitments. This practice assists in regulating your body's internal timekeeper, facilitating the process of falling asleep and awakening naturally. 5. Manage nighttime bladder activity. If frequent trips to the restroom interrupt your sleep, consider these approaches. Restrict fluid intake in the evening, particularly coffee, tea, and alcoholic beverages. Empty your bladder immediately before going to bed. If necessary, consult with your healthcare provider regarding pharmaceutical options or bladder training techniques. 6. Cultivate an optimal sleep setting. Your sleeping quarters should be cool, dim, and tranquil. Utilize opaque window coverings, a device that generates consistent background sound, or a ventilating fan to mitigate distractions. A comfortable mattress and supportive pillows can also significantly enhance sleep quality. Final reflection: sleep patterns evolve with age, but this need not govern your existence. By implementing minor adjustments to your daily habits, you can experience more restful sleep and awaken feeling revitalized. Do you encounter difficulties with sleep? What is your most effective method for achieving a restful night? Share your insights in the comments. Alterations in gustation and olfaction. Have you ever sampled a portion of your preferred culinary creation, one you have savored for numerous decades? only to discern that its flavor profile is no longer the same? Perhaps your morning coffee seems less potent, or your go-to spicy meal lacks its former satisfying intensity. After the age of 60, your faculties of taste and smell begin to diminish. This transformation unfolds gradually, but eventually, you might observe that food tastes less vibrant, or that certain aromas, such as floral scents, coffee, or freshly baked bread, seem fainter than before. What is the reason for this phenomenon? Your taste receptors decline. We are born with approximately 9,000 taste buds, but their regeneration slows with age, reducing the vividness of flavors. Your sense of smell weakens. The sensory cells in your nasal passages that detect scents become less responsive, hindering the full experience of flavors, given the significant role olfaction plays in gustation. Salivary production decreases. A drier oral cavity means flavors do not disperse as readily across your linguistic surface, rendering food less palatable. Prescription medications can interfere. Many commonly prescribed pharmaceuticals for conditions such as elevated blood pressure, allergic reactions, or elevated cholesterol levels can alter your sense of taste. For some individuals, these alterations lead to reduced food consumption, potentially resulting in unintentional weight loss or nutritional deficiencies. Others consume more food, frequently seeking items higher in sodium, sugar, or piquant qualities to compensate for the perceived lack of flavor. How to maintain the enjoyment of food? 1. Incorporate natural flavor enhancers. Elevate meals with fresh botanical elements, citrus extracts, or aromatic compounds, such as ginger, cinnamon, and garlic. These provide rich flavors without excessive reliance on sodium or sugar. 2. Remain adequately hydrated and encourage salivary flow. Consume ample water throughout the day. Chewing gum without sugar or consuming lozenges without sugar can also help keep your oral cavity moist, which improves taste perception. 3. Engage your other sensory modalities. Since taste is interconnected with smell, attempt to inhale the aroma of your food before consumption to stimulate your brain's recognition of flavors. Select visually appealing meals. Colorful fruits and vegetables can make the act of eating more stimulating. Participate in regular physical activity. Exercise enhances blood circulation, including to your taste buds and olfactory system, aiding in the preservation of their function. 5. Investigate underlying conditions. If you experience a sudden loss of taste or smell, it could be attributable to allergies, sinus infections, or even oral health issues. Seek a medical evaluation to exclude any physiological causes. Final reflection. A reduction in the sensitivity of taste and smell is a natural consequence of aging, but this does not necessitate resignation to uninspired meals. With minor modifications, you can ensure food remains flavorful and pleasurable for years to come. Have you observed alterations in your experience of food? What is your preferred method for augmenting the flavor of your meals? Share your insights in the comments. Social connections evolve, becoming more profound. Have you noticed that your circle of acquaintances is becoming more restricted? Yet this phenomenon does not significantly concern you? After the age of 60, we begin to prioritize depth over breadth in our interpersonal connections. The emphasis shifts from having a multitude of associates to cultivating the right ones. Research indicates that as we age, we naturally filter out superficial relationships, concentrating instead on interactions that contribute to fulfillment and happiness. This is not indicative of isolation. Rather, it is a manifestation of maturity. Strategies for maximizing this phase. Maintain contact with your closest companions through regular telephonic conversations and planned gatherings. Do not hesitate to establish new friendships. Participate in groups centered around shared interests, exercise classes, or volunteer initiatives to connect with individuals who possess similar inclinations. Embrace more substantive connections. Conversations of meaning are far more rewarding than superficial discourse. Life is too brief for insubstantial relationships. Cherish those individuals who genuinely matter. Your body communicates before movement. Have you observed that the act of arising from a resting position or transitioning from a seated posture now involves an audible accompaniment? A sequence of clicks, cracks, and creaks, reminiscent of a breakfast cereal, seems to attend every physical transition. Subsequent to reaching 60, our articular structures no longer maintain their previous silence. You might not experience discomfort, but your knees, hips, or shoulders will announce your every maneuver. What causes this to occur? Cartilage undergoes degradation. The protective padding situated between skeletal elements thins over time, resulting in less fluid movement. Lubrication diminishes. The synovial fluid, which facilitates effortless joint movement, begins to lessen, leading to rigidity. Muscular tension increases. Prolonged periods of inactivity can cause joints to feel immobile, rendering the initial step stiff or cumbersome. Tendons and ligaments lose flexibility. These connective tissues become less pliable, contributing to the sensation of stiffness and constraint. Beyond the auditory component, you might notice that initiating movement in the morning requires more time than previously. Remaining seated for extended durations makes standing feel akin to an athletic feat, and attempting to move with excessive speed risks sharp discomfort, or worse, a loss of equilibrium. Methods for maintaining healthy and contented joints. 1. Remain physically active. Gentle, low-impact endeavors such as perambulation, aquatic activities, or disciplined physical postures aid in preserving flexibility and preventing rigidity. Even simple stretching before exiting your resting surface can yield significant benefits. 2. Prepare adequately before undertaking significant movement. Instead of rapidly exiting your resting place or standing abruptly, take a moment to stretch or rotate your ankles to enhance circulation to your joints. 3. Provide support for your cartilage. Nutritional supplements containing substances such as omega-3 fatty acids, glucosamine, and chondroitin may assist in maintaining joint cushioning and reducing inflammatory responses. 4. Strengthen adjacent musculature. Robust muscles exert less strain on your joints. Uncomplicated resistance exercises, such as using one's own body weight for squats or employing lightweight free weights, can be beneficial. 5. Ensure adequate hydration and nutritious consumption. Consuming sufficient water aids in maintaining joint lubrication. Incorporating foodstuffs abundant in collagen, vitamin D, and antioxidant compounds, such as various berries, nuts, and verdant leafy vegetables, supports the well-being of skeletal and articular structures. Final reflection. It is true that your joints may be more vocal presently, but this does not necessitate the acceptance of rigidity and discomfort. Remain active, keep those joints in motion, and provide them with the attention they merit. What sounds do your joints produce in the morning? Share your observations in the comments. Augmented emotional sensitivity alongside increased fortitude. You have dedicated decades to cultivating resilience, assimilating life's instruction, and releasing anxieties that once disturbed your rest. You no longer dwell on the opinions of others, and you have mastered the skill of prioritizing inner tranquility over needless apprehension. Yet, a simple melody from bygone days can evoke a cascade of tears. A fragrance, perhaps that of freshly baked confections or your maternal figure's signature scent, can instantly transport you to a memory so vivid it feels as though you have returned to that moment in time. A touching televised advertisement, a handwritten correspondence from a descendant, or even the sound of mirth emanating from an adjacent chamber can stir profound sentiments within you. This apparent contradiction of advancing age is among life's most unexpected endowments. You have become more robust and discerning, yet your capacity for sentiment has expanded in ways you did not foresee. What accounts for this phenomenon? Life has furnished you with an amplified capacity for reflection. As we age, we experience emotions with greater intensity. Every significant event, every deprivation, every source of elation is interwoven into the fabric of our being. The intrinsic value of time becomes more evident. At 2 decades of age, a year felt protracted. At 6 decades, we apprehend the preciousness of each temporal cycle, rendering every connection and recollection more significant. The cerebral processing system prioritizes emotional content over minute particulars. Scientific investigation indicates that as we age, our brains retain emotionally charged experiences more readily than trivial, easily forgotten facts. This is why a tune from childhood can feel as potent as the day it was first encountered. Reduced stress levels correlate with enhanced presence. With fewer distractions, we possess the leisure to slow down and fully immerse ourselves in life's moments instead of hastening through them. How to embrace this emotional fortification? 1. Permit yourself to experience your emotions. Weeping over vintage correspondence, An anniversary of matrimonial union or a discourse with a long-absent associate is not indicative of frailty. It serves as affirmation of a life richly lived. Do not suppress emotional responses. Welcome them. 2. Maintain the vibrancy of your memories. Engaging in journaling, creating audio recordings, or even assembling a compendium of recollections can assist in preserving the narratives and junctures that hold the greatest significance for you. These cherished elements are not solely for your benefit. They will acquire meaning for subsequent generations as well. 3. Seek solace in familiar aspects. If a particular melody or location brings you serenity, revisit it. If a culinary creation from your formative years fills you with warmth, prepare it. Remain connected to that which brings happiness and nostalgia. It is an integral part of your identity. 4. Disseminate your accumulated wisdom. You have garnered extensive knowledge throughout your life's journey. Whether through recounting experiences, guiding younger individuals, or simply composing written communications to family members, transmitting your insights can be a potent means of connection and inspiration. Genuine strength does not reside in suppressing emotions. It lies in permitting yourself to feel deeply and to extend love fully. You have earned that prerogative. Life has bestowed upon you a collection of exquisite moments, and each is worthy of being treasured. What particular memory or melody continues to resonate with your heart? Share your story in the comments below. Your narratives are valued. Memory's playful elusiveness. You enter the kitchen and are suddenly without awareness of your purpose there. You have placed your eyewear somewhere, but they have inexplicably vanished. And that neighboring resident, what is her designation again? You just encountered her yesterday? Before succumbing to apprehension, take a moment for deliberate respiration. These minor lapses in recall are entirely commonplace and are experienced by everyone as they advance in years. Why does this occur? Your brain is burdened with cumulative information spanning several decades. Envision attempting to locate a single document within a repository overflowing with recollections from the past 6 decades and beyond. The information resides within. Your brain simply requires a slightly extended duration to retrieve it. Aging influences the pace of retrieval, not cognitive capacity. Your aptitude for acquiring knowledge and engaging in critical thought remains robust, but the brain's processing speed decelerates somewhat. It is analogous to transitioning from a high-speed internet connection to one that is marginally slower. You retain access to everything. It merely necessitates an additional instant. Distractions exacerbate the issue. If you are engaged in managing multiple tasks concurrently, your brain might momentarily lose track of insignificant particulars. Strategies for enhancing memory and preserving cognitive acuity. 1. Stimulate your brain daily. Activities such as numerical grid puzzles, word puzzles, strategic board games, and even acquiring a new proficiency, such as a foreign tongue or a musical device, maintain brain activity and fortify mnemonic connections. 2. Articulate information audibly. If you wish to recall something, such as the placement of your keys, state it aloud. I am positioning my keys on the counter. Verbalizing information aids the brain in processing and retaining it more effectively. 3. Establish cognitive associations. Do you struggle with names? Endeavor to link them to something familiar. If you encounter a gentleman named Robert, picture him holding a figurine with an oscillating head. If you need to remember provisions such as leavened bread, dairy beverage, and avian ovulations, visualize yourself manipulating them skillfully at the marketplace. This facilitates easier retrieval. 4. Adequate sleep is paramount. Insufficient sleep impacts memory more significantly than the aging process itself. A brain that is properly rested processes and stores information more competently. Aim for a duration of 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each nocturnal cycle. 5. Remain physically active. Exercise augments cerebral circulation, improving cognitive function. Even a quotidian perambulation can contribute to maintaining a sharp memory. Your memory is not deteriorating. It is simply operating differently. With the appropriate techniques, you can maintain mental acuity and even outwit those bothersome instances of misplacing objects. Have you ever forgotten something humorous or unexpected? Share your most memorable lapse in the comments below. Embracing 60 with assurance and optimism. Attaining the age of 60 is not an endpoint. It signifies the commencement of a new and stimulating phase. Certainly, some transformations may take you by surprise, but each serves as a reminder of the extraordinary odyssey you have undertaken. Aging is not about diminishing momentum. It is about development, adaptation, and discovering gratification in novel experiences. Some adjustments, such as the perceived acceleration of time or the unpredictability of sleep, may require a period of acclimation. Others, such as a newfound emotional richness or a more profound sense of self, are endowments that accompany advancing years. Therefore, which of these indications struck you as most unexpected? Have you personally experienced any of them? Let us initiate a dialogue. Leave a comment below. And if you found this video informative, remember to express your approval and subscribe for additional advice on navigating the aging process with confidence and grace. Here's to embracing every juncture.